Hi David, very nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
What was it that made you want to come and join Nativity?
Well, it's because it's improvised, and I'd never done that before. And I thought I should give it a go. Really, I was very nervous. I didn't know that I'd be able to. And then I met Mark Wootton, who sort of is a force of nature, and I thought, well, I can always hide behind him. So yeah, I just thought it's really unlike anything I've ever done before, this film. So that's always got to be a reason to do something, I think.
And you talk about working with Mark. It looks during the film that you find it very easy to get infuriated with Mr. Poppy. Is that true?
Mr. Poppy is, an anarchic force of nature. He's impossible to contain. As is Mark, although Mark is more less of a idiot savant. I think he's just genuinely brilliant. No, I mean, I think Mr. Poppy is one of those characters you can't help but adore. And I think by the end of the film, I think Mr. Peterson does too. Although he spends a lot of the time. We tried to count the number of times I shouted "Mr. Poppy" over the week's shoot, and it was beyond number.
And you've done quite a lot of voices for kids' films before. How is it actually throwing yourself into it in comparison?
Well, you have to just take a deep breath and go for it, I think. Especially with something like this, because you genuinely don't know what's coming next. It is. We have an idea of what the story's going to be, but it's improvised, and the story goes off. And there's a point we were shooting something on some river rapids, and I wasn't meant to fall in, but I did. So then that becomes part of the story, And
I was going to ask, did you do all your own stunts?
Of course I did. Always.
You're doing all sorts, abseiling down cliffs, whitewater rapids, and all that.
No, I did as much as possible, and probably slightly more than I should have done. Yes.
Yeah. And is it right? You've got Postman Pat coming up.
I do. Yes.
What do you do in Postman Pat?
I don't know how much of that is. I mean, it's probably top secret. Am I allowed to talk about Postman Pat? It's all top secret.
Oh, all top secret.
It's locked away in a vault.
And how did you find working with all the children and the animals and the whole road movie nature of
the children were easier than the donkey. I'll be frank with you. The donkey wasn't the most willing improviser, whereas the children, of course, because they have the sort of brilliance of youth, they just come out with some of the best lines in the film that have made the movie.
And have you ever thought about putting out your own Christmas single, trying to make a run for Christmas #1?
It's tempting. I mean, I wouldn't like to miss, though. That's the thing. You wouldn't want to go for Christmas #1 and miss it. So I think maybe I'll say no to that.
And how was acting against yourself? That seems like a particularly tough thing to do.
Tricky, because the film was improvised. And I have to say, and I hold my hands up to this as well, none of us had quite thought through how we were going to do improvising with oneself until we got on set that day and realised that we didn't quite know how to break it down, who to shoot first. Yes, it was interesting.
And did you prefer playing one of the two characters? Mr. Peterson or Mr. Peterson?
Mr. Peterson, they both have merits. Well, Donald, of course, is a lovely misunderstood man with lots of integrity, and his brother is the polar opposite of that. So it's nice to be able to exercise both of those demons.
Flip between both of them. Thanks a lot for speaking to us, David, and enjoy the premiere.
Cheers.